ATA for not saying thank you when a parent returned my son's lunchbox? So this happened last week, and my husband thinks I'm overthinking it, but my sister says I was borderline rude, so here I am. My son is in first grade, and like every other chaotic school morning, we were running late. I had my work bag, his backpack, his water bottle, and what felt like half the house in my arms. We rushed through the school gate just as the bell rang. I shoved him toward his classroom, did the quick hug kiss dash go, go, go routine, and started power walking back to my scooter because I had exactly 8 minutes to make it onto a morning call. About halfway across the courtyard, another parent, let's call her Maya, comes jogging up behind me holding my son's lunchbox. Apparently he left it on the bench outside the classroom. She must have grabbed it right after drop-off. She calls out my name, and when I turn around, she hands it over with this big friendly smile. Here's the thing. I was flustered, late, sweating in stupid humidity, and mentally rehearsing the meeting I was about to join. I took the lunchbox, nodded quickly, said something like, "Oh yeah," and basically rushed off. I didn't register until later that I never actually said thank you. Not even a half-mumbled one. Later that afternoon, I ran into Maya again near the gate. I automatically smiled and said hi, but she gave me this tight, polite smile, the kind that's technically friendly, but very much not friendly. Then she walked past me. My sister swears she must have felt snubbed and that I should have made a bigger deal out of it, like, "OMG, thank you so much for noticing and bringing it. You're a lifesaver." She says it's basic courtesy, especially among school parents, because everyone talks. Now I'm spiraling, wondering if I came off as ungrateful or dismissive. I genuinely appreciated that she picked it up, but my brain was fried at the time. So am I the asshole for not saying thank you in the moment? So the next morning, things were already awkward at drop-off. I wasn't planning to bring it up again. I figured it was one of those small, stupid playground misunderstandings that would fade if everyone just focused on getting their caffeine in and surviving until pickup. But nope. The other mom, let's call her S, clearly had not moved on. I was helping my son hang his bag in his cubby when I heard S talking loudly to another parent behind me. It was very obviously about me even though she didn't use my name. She said something like, "Some people really don't have basic manners anymore. Kids learn from us, you know." And then the other parent gave that nervous laugh people give when they don't actually want to be involved, but also don't know how to escape. I pretended not to hear, but I won't lie, my ears turned hot. When I stepped out of the classroom, she gave me this tight, press-lipped smile and said, "Hope your son enjoys having his things back." Like, what? It was a lunchbox, not a stolen artifact from a museum. I finally said, "He does. And I appreciate you handing it to him." She huffed, literally huffed, and walked away like I'd wronged her on a spiritual level. Later on, another mom, one I'm friendly with, texted me because apparently S had complained to the group chat about people taking kindness for granted. She didn't name me, but the timing made it obvious. At this point, I honestly don't know if I'm living in a sitcom or if playground politics are truly this petty. So a lot has happened since the last post, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure out whether I accidentally signed up for a sitcom without realizing it. The PTA meeting was yesterday evening, and I only went because my friend, let's call her Priya, begged me to come since they were discussing some new safety rules. The lunchbox mom, Reena, was there too. I walked in thinking maybe we could just coexist quietly in the same room and go home like normal adults. Nope. 5 minutes in, someone brought up parent etiquette and how some kids' lunches were being mixed up. I wasn't even paying attention until I heard someone say, "And some parents don't even appreciate when things are returned to them." I felt Priya squeeze my arm. Great. Here we go. At first, I wasn't 100% sure she meant me, but then Reena looked directly at me with that smile people use when they're trying to look innocent, but want you to know they're absolutely calling you out. I didn't react. I decided to listen and let it pass, because I didn't want to be that parent who starts drama at a PTA meeting. But of course, after the meeting, she cornered me near the door. She said, "Next time, a simple thank you would go a long way." I kept my voice calm and said, "I did thank you. Maybe you didn't hear me, but I did." She made this face like she didn't believe me. Then she said something that honestly threw me off. "It just felt like you were very dismissive." I made sure it was washed and sanitized before returning it. "Ma'am, it's a lunchbox, not a family heirloom." I told her I appreciated that, but I didn't think it required a whole conversation or a performance of gratitude. She huffed, muttered something about standards, and walked away dramatically, like we were in an Indian soap opera and someone just revealed a secret twin. When I got home, I asked my son again if anything weird happened that day. He said no, and then he added, "She gave my lunchbox back, but kept sniffing it." Why? So now I'm even more confused. Who sniffs a child's lunchbox? Was she checking if I'm a bad cleaner? Was she judging my dish soap? What is going on? Anyway, the other parents who overheard the situation were split. Half said she was being petty, the other half said manners matter, though even they agreed she took it too far. At this point, I'm wondering if this whole thing is less about the thank you and more about her wanting some kind of acknowledgement badge for doing the bare minimum. So, things got way messier than I expected over a freaking lunchbox. After my last post, most people said I should just let it go, but also that the other mom was being dramatic. I wasn't planning on doing anything, but the universe clearly wanted part 2 of this nonsense. On Monday morning, I walked my son to class and ran into the same mom, let's call her Lisa, standing by the door with a very stiff posture, like she'd been rehearsing something. I was fully prepared to just give her a polite nod and move on with my day. Nope. She steps right in front of me and goes, "So, I hope you reflected on what happened Friday." I genuinely thought she was joking at first. I actually laughed. That made it worse. She goes off on this whole speech about how gratitude is the foundation of community, how children learn by example, and how she went out of her way to grab the lunchbox when she had no obligation. For context, the lunchbox was sitting on a bench 2 feet from where she was already standing. She didn't climb Everest. I told her, look, I didn't mean to seem rude. I was wrangling 2 kids, one was crying, and I thought I said thanks. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Truly. She nodded like she just won a debate championship and said, I accept your apology. Maybe next time, try to be more mindful. I was done. Later that day, the class teacher messaged me saying she'd heard there was a misunderstanding and asked if everything was okay. That means Lisa told her side. Probably a dramatized version where she rescued my child from a burning building while I spat in her face. I explained what happened. The teacher literally replied, "Oh, that's not what I heard. Don't worry, I'll handle it." I don't know what the teacher said to her, but the next day Lisa avoided eye contact like I was radioactive. Here's the kicker, though, my son told me that her son said his mom got mad because she thought I didn't like her. Apparently, that's what this whole thing was actually about. She wanted the gratitude to reassure herself she wasn't being ignored. So now I'm stuck in this weird zone where I'm not sure if she wants to be friends or if she hates me. Either way, I'm bringing store-bought cookies to the next class event and keeping conversations to hi and good morning. All this because of a lunchbox. Am I the asshole? If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.